Hey, it's Suffering Student here, and today I'm going to showcase how to create a JavaFX program using Maven. So, whenever you're at the start screen or from a program, you would create a new project. Then instead of normally doing JavaFX, we will do Maven. So what we need to do first, if you haven't created a JavaFX in Maven before, we need to add the JavaFX archetype. So we do create from archetype, add archetype. We need to add some group IDs, some artifact IDs, and a version. So JavaFX themselves have a guide which would help. They'll be linked in the description as well, where you can get all of this basic information, where a group ID is kind of the grouping, which is kind of like an opposite URL. Then we have the artifact ID, which just defines that is a JavaFX Maven archetype, and we've got the version. So I'm first of all just gonna the group ID, you could do whatever you want. I'm just going to use this one for now because it doesn't really matter. You can also just add anything else. So just the group ID. I would add the artifact ID. I will get the version. And I will press OK. So now we added the JavaFX Maven archetype. So I will open it, and I will then pick the JavaFX Maven archetype we created and go next. Then we would need to give a title for whatever application I'm creating. So I'm just going to call this one JavaFX with Maven. And you have whatever location you choose. I have like a software folder in my C drive. And you can see we have like the thing again inside our artifact coordinates with a group ID we did before, artifact ID and a version. So I'm just going to be running with this for now, and we'll just go next. And we can have a look again at the basic information. And so now we would actually need to change our JavaFX archetype ID depending if we're just going to use FXML or not. And I'm always using FXML documents, so I would add my JavaFX dash archetype dash FXML and put it inside my archetype artifact ID. So just double click it and change the value. I would then as well add a new value, which would be the JavaFX version. And we're just going to give the value of the version I am using. I'm using 15.0.1 Java. You might use something else, but otherwise just set for now. And I will click finish. And it will start running, and it would load all the JavaFX it would need to run. So just give it a few seconds to run, and you should be all good. And mostly important, when it is done running, you can first check inside poem.xml, which is the Maven file that it will probably on line 36. We have our JavaFX-Maven plugin. That's kind of the most important part. So now let's get checking. Started to see if it works. JavaFX Maven, we have our source, we have our main, we have our Java, we have a resource folder as well, containing our FXML documents, because we chose to use FXML. And as we did ourselves as well, we created org.example, where we have our different file. So we have a app file, which contains a basic setup and a primary file, and a secondary primary for like to show. So let's just run it and see how it looks. So very simply, it is just a window where we have a button to switch between a primary and a secondary window. Pretty nice. So as you can see, it works, and when we're using Maven, we don't need to do anything where we set up some settings ourselves. Everything is done by Maven, which is the main reason we use Maven, because it just makes our lives so much easier. So this is the basic setup of how to get JavaFX running with Maven. We just add a new archetype, and from now on, you can just add. You don't need to add the archetype again if you added it once. So now from now on, it will be pretty easy to create this file. And of course, you can change everything you want. And we just have our FXML inside our FXML files inside our resource folder, and you can see already how they're loading them. But In general, this should be a pretty good setup. So if you enjoyed this video and my walkthrough of how to set it up, please leave a like and subscribe, and I wish you all a wonderful